Welcome, you who have been chosen. The universe operates with unwavering fairness, and sometimes, to demonstrate your inherent worth, it unleashes the most powerful storms. Let me share a profound truth. Scientists discovered that the reintroduction of wolves into a forest after years of absence triggers a complete realignment of the entire ecosystem, from rivers to plant life. Trees grow taller, rivers alter their course, and prey populations stabilize, all because a vital force of nature returned to restore balance. And you, my friend, are that wolf. For years, you've been surrounded by deceitful individuals, smiling betrayers, and those who exploited your kindness as a vulnerability. They counted on your silence, thrived in your isolation, and confidently believed no one would ever intervene. But their gamble has failed. Someone with fierce determination and your name on their lips is about to step onto your battlefield. And here's the remarkable part. They aren't seeking permission or negotiating peace. They are prepared to defend you at any cost. This isn't a gentle, unassuming protector. This one arrives with undeniable proof, a potent spiritual force, and a touch of righteous indignation. You know the type, the kind who will fearlessly expose your enemies while calmly observing the unfolding drama. Their arrival signals a significant shift in your abundance, not a gradual increase, but a divine recompense for every silent struggle, every betrayal endured, and every moment you held your head high while your heart was breaking. Stay here, because what I am about to reveal will illuminate why your isolation was necessary, why your abundance was delayed, and why your enemies are now filled with unease. They sense it, and soon you will too. Let's delve into it. 1. The Defender. Sent to you isn't a new ally. It's an old spirit in a new form. The person entering your life now to defend you is not a random newcomer. This isn't about new friendships or a stroke of luck. What's happening is far more profound. This person's spirit has crossed paths with yours before, in different times and places, perhaps even in past lives. A spiritual bond exists between you, transcending the ordinary rules of this world, a connection that endures across time, distance, and even death. When your soul cried out for help, the universe didn't search for someone. It reached back and summoned the energy of a protector you already knew, but had forgotten you needed. This is why they will feel strangely familiar upon meeting. Regardless of how long you've known them in this lifetime, be it years, weeks, or mere days, that feeling of, "I feel like I've known you forever," is not your imagination. It's spiritual recognition, the echo of a bond formed long before your current identity and past heartbreaks. This person was destined for your soul's journey, but they awaited the opportune moment to intervene, not out of neglect, but because spiritual laws prevent interference before certain lessons are learned. You had to experience betrayal, isolation, and heartbreak to discern who was truly for you and who awaited your downfall. Now that you've endured what was necessary, this protector is free to step forward. Their arrival marks a turning point in your story. Just as storms clear dead branches from a tree, this person's presence will eliminate the remaining threats in your life, and it won't be subtle. Those who plotted against you will sense it even before it's spoken, because true spiritual protectors carry an energy that unnerves enemies for reasons they can't even articulate. 2. The major shift in abundance was deliberately delayed to expose parasites around you. The truth is, your abundance was never truly blocked, lost, stolen, or delayed by mere chance or cosmic error. It was deliberately held back, not as punishment, but as protection. The higher forces overseeing your life knew precisely what would happen if you received all that was meant for you, while still surrounded by those who didn't deserve a place at your table. They would have drained you, disguised as supporters, smiling to your face while secretly plotting to exploit your blessings for their own gain. This delay wasn't about your unworthiness or lack of readiness. You were more than ready, but those around you were not. Too many parasites occupied your space. Individuals who publicly cheered for you, but secretly wished for your downfall, who only appeared when it benefited them, and vanished the moment you needed support. If the abundance that rightfully belonged to you had been released any sooner, it wouldn't have remained yours for long. You would have been manipulated, guilt-tripped, and emotionally blackmailed into giving it away to those who never earned it. Therefore, the universe subjected you to a season of isolation, betrayal, and disappointment to expose them, not out of cruelty, but to ensure you saw everyone's true colors, without masks. Swinging excuses or second chances. Only when the dust settled and the wrong people were gone or revealed could your blessings safely reach you. And now, that moment has arrived. The energy is shifting because the path is finally clear. The deceivers have been identified, and your hands are no longer tied by loyalty to the undeserving. What is coming to you now will not be interrupted, delayed, or stolen. It was always yours, waiting for the precise moment you stopped offering front-row seats to those who clapped with only one hand. This isn't random favor. It's delayed compensation with interest, and those who thought they got away with hindering you are about to witness your triumph. 3. This defender is not bound by the same laws. Your enemies hid behind. The reason this defender's arrival is such a game-changer is that they operate by a different set of rules than those your enemies have been exploiting. The people who sought to tear you down have been cunning, using morality, feigned innocence, and spiritual loopholes to conceal their actions. They wronged you in subtle ways that were difficult to call out. Backhanded compliments, lies laced with just enough truth to make you doubt yourself. And when you reacted, they played the victim. It was a setup where you were expected to either remain silent or erupt and appear irrational. While you tried to fight fairly, they fought dirty the entire time. This person stepping in for you now has no interest in playing by those false rules. They don't care about pleasing others, maintaining a false peace, or protecting anyone's carefully constructed reputation. They weren't sent to comfort you. They were sent to expose the mess, shut it down, and defend you in ways you weren't permitted to defend yourself. The very spiritual codes your enemies use to silence you do not apply to this one. Their purpose isn't to turn the other cheek or keep secrets to avoid conflict. Their assignment is to confront, reveal, and dismantle everything built against you, and the timing couldn't be more perfect. Now that the masks are slipping and the lies are becoming transparent, this defender has free rein to act in ways you couldn't. They are the kind of person who speaks necessary truths, loudly and unapologetically, an energy that makes people nervous even before a word is uttered. They know how to get under the skin of those who wronged you, not out of spite, but because balance must be restored. And this won't be a quiet cleanup. The same people who schemed behind closed doors will have to face someone who can match their energy and surpass it, leaving a lasting impact. The spiritual realm was watching to see if you would sell out before they stepped in. The uncomfortable truth is that not every delay in your life was solely about timing. Some of it was a test of your loyalty to yourself. The spiritual realm observed you closely, not to judge your perfection, but to see if you would betray your own essence. They needed to know if you would dim your light for acceptance, dilute your voice, lower your standards, or compromise your spirit to escape the pressure. Because that's what many do when life becomes challenging. They make small, quiet compromises, laughing at unfunny jokes, staying connected to draining people, and accepting situations that disrespect their soul. But you didn't. You endured the isolation, the rejection, the fake supporters, and the setups designed to break you. You stood in rooms where you were intentionally misunderstood, and you refused to shrink to make others comfortable. That was what the spiritual realm was waiting to see. Not if you could quote scriptures or perform rituals, but if you could hold your ground when your worth felt invisible to others. That is the test that distinguishes the chosen. The reason divine help took so long is that you had to prove you wouldn't trade your birthright for temporary relief. You had to demonstrate that you were built to carry your assignment, even when it felt like a curse. And because you remained steadfast, something ancient has been triggered in your lineage. A cycle of betrayal, poverty, silence, and self-betrayal is breaking because of your resilience. You didn't just survive for yourself, you endured for those who came before you and couldn't. Now, the assistance you've awaited isn't coming as pity, but as a reward. The spiritual realm is sending reinforcements because you earned it, and what is about to be released on your behalf will shake the foundations of every system that underestimated you. 5. Some of your former enemies will be forced to publicly acknowledge your power. A significant shift is occurring in your narrative, one that is not about seeking revenge, but about restoring equilibrium. Those who opposed you through lies, envy, silent sabotage, or outright character assassination believed their actions would remain hidden. They were confident you would either fade away quietly, crumble under their schemes, or at best, rebuild in silence while pretending nothing happened. What they didn't anticipate was the full force of the divine law of return. This time, it won't involve private apologies whispered in guilt or vague, out of the blue texts. That would be too easy, too safe. The universe is no longer concerned with protecting their pride. To correct the spiritual imbalance they created by publicly tearing you down, they will be required to publicly acknowledge your power. This will not be negotiable. The same mouth that disrespected your name will have to speak it with reverence. The same people who swore you'd never recover will have to admit, sometimes before the very audience they poisoned, that you were never the weak one, you were the threat all along. Some will have no choice in the matter. Spiritual law demands it. The way energy operates, when someone disrupts a divine assignment like yours, a debt is created, and that debt cannot always be paid in silence. So, while a few will swallow their pride and try to quietly support you behind the scenes, others will be compelled to openly defend you, standing up for the very person they once mocked. Not because they suddenly developed a conscience, but because their peace, progress, and protection depend on it. This isn't revenge, it's reparation, a divine correction to show the world, and them, that your elevation was never up for debate. It was delayed for timing, not denied by human will. 6. You were never meant to fight every battle. You were being groomed to command. For so long, you believed survival was your sole responsibility. Every attack, every betrayal, every underhanded tactic directed at you felt like something you personally had to address, defend against, prove your worth against, and clear your name from. But what you didn't realize is that you weren't meant to fight every battle presented to you. The intense targeting you experienced wasn't because you were just another soldier on the field. You were being prepared for leadership. There's a fundamental difference between a soldier and a commander. Soldiers are trained to react. Commanders are trained to lead, strategize, and make decisions that influence the entire conflict. While you were in the trenches dealing with unnecessary skirmishes, the higher powers overseeing your life were quietly shaping you for a position where you would no longer need to get your hands dirty. The constant trials weren't about testing your resilience, they were about cultivating discipline, patience, and the ability to see the larger strategic landscape, even when your immediate world felt chaotic. Now that this training period is concluding, the universe is sending you a defender. Not because you are weak, but because your time on the front lines is over. Commanders don't waste their energy on petty squabbles. They don't respond to every insult or chase down every rumor. They lead movements, build legacies, and oversee territories. For you to step into this next phase of power and abundance, you must cease exhausting yourself in battles that were never yours to fight in the first place. This defender is proof that your position has shifted. Where you once had to fight alone, you will now have people and forces assigned to fight for you. Not because you are incapable, but because you shouldn't. Your energy belongs to the kingdom you are meant to build. The ideas you've been nurturing, the visions you've been too drained to bring to life. The conflict isn't ending, but your role in it is evolving. And those enemies who thought they could break you with distractions are about to learn what happens when a commander stops swinging and starts calling the shots.